Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Hello! I'm trying to just move this up just a little bit. Oh, is that better? I think that's better. Okay, we're going with that. Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Hello! It was like a do-over. Welcome to today's Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 522. And today is my birthday. If you are watching this on October 7th, well, it's my birthday. They say it's your birthday, ba-na-na-na-na-na. How old am I? I'm old. I am 55 years old today. Yikes. So I will start telling people that I'm 56 probably around December. And that way I have like 10 months to get used to hearing that I'm going to be 56. That's how I do it. I tell everybody I'm a little bit older than I am. And that way when I really am that age, it's like, oh, that's no big deal. I've been saying I'm 56 for forever. So I've been telling people pretty much I'm 55 since January. All right, I have got a wonderful YouTube for you today. I have got Simply Defined layering stencils. I have a brand new stamp from Versus. I have new ink from Jacquard and Color Pad. And if you recall, Jacquard bought Clear Snap and Color Box, and they are now changing things up and bringing things back and making things new, and I have it for you today. I also have a very special birthday something. It's really for me, but it's for you that I will share with you in just a minute. But before we get on to that, I have winner chicken dinner to talk about. I've got two of you. You posted a comment on YouTube number 521. The comment was kind, it was approvable. SMS guy James was able to go, yep, and he approved it. It can be anything from, hey Stacy, to it was my birthday last week, to just had a great day today. Really can be anything as long as it is kind, but you do need to leave a comment below. Live chat if you are joining me during the premiere of today's class, which is Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. sunny California time, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. in the United Kingdom. If you are joining me, you'll see a live chat going on. Oh, an itch. I'm hoping it's not a mosquito. I've got mosquito bites. I must have 18 mosquito bites right now. That is a whole nother conversation, but okay, I digress. So if you are watching and you're watching a live chat going on, you don't leave your comment there. It will not count. You have to look below me. Just look below me. There is a place to leave a comment there. There is also a place to subscribe to Scrapbooking Made Simple. We want you to subscribe. Yes, there's a little heart with an SMS in it. Just click that and say, yeah, I want to subscribe to SMS to Scrapbooking Made Simple. And that way you get notifications for all of our YouTubes, because I do 3 of them a week, on Mondays, on Thursdays, and on Saturdays. Mondays and Thursdays are a little bit faster. They're not a full-length class, but they sure are fun. And then coming in 2024, at some point, I'll be going to 4 classes a week. I don't know what possessed me, but it's in I've got it in the pipe to do, so I'm gonna try and do it. All right, so winner chicken dinner. These 2 people left a comment below, not in the live chat. We approved it, and our software randomly selected them to win a $25 gift card. Are you ready to hear if it's you? Because if it is, I expect you to do the winner chicken dinner dance. Even more so because it's my birthday. All right, so our first winner is April. April Lotta. Hello, how are you doing, April? Congratulations to you. You are a winner chicken dinner. You have a $25 gift card. Yep, the box is checked, already in your online account. Congratulations to you. But you're not alone. We have 2 of you. We always give 2 away. Unless, the only time we give more away is as my YouTube subscribers get higher and higher. For every 100,000 subscribers that we go up to, we take that number. So the next one would be 500,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh, that's 500,000 people. We'll take $500 and divvy it up and have lots of winners. And then when we get to 600,000, we'll take $600 and divvy it up and have lots of winners. And if and when we get to 1 million, we'll take $1,000 and divvy it up and have lots of winners. But today there's 2 of you, April Lotta and Sherry Smith. Hello, Sherry Smith. Now, there may be lots of Sherry Smiths out there. You are going to have to go to your account and see if the $25 was added to your account. And if it was, you're the right Sherry Smith. So I suppose in anticipation that you could be the right Sherry Smith, you might want to do the winner, winner, chicken dinner dance, even if you're not sure you're the winner. It's like good juju, you know? It's like sending positive thoughts in the air. It's like manifesting the win. All right, so we have to do winner, winner, chicken dinner dance for all the Sherry Smiths out there who think they may have won, and April Lotta, who I'm sure we probably only have one of. Are you ready? Let's do it. You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo for you. Congratulations to all of you. But really just 2. And if you are the Sherry Smith that won, you will see that $25 in your online account. And if you were a Sherry Smith that didn't win, well, you sent positive thoughts in the air. You are manifesting that win. You are seeing it. You got to see it to be it. So who knows, maybe it'll be you next time. All right, so today I have got Jacquard for you. I've got new inks from Jacquard. And I have got 2 new stencils from Simply Defined, which please keep in mind, Simply Defined is coming to a pause. It's not ending, and it's coming to a pause. So in 2024, you will still be able to get Simply Defined adhesive and Simply Defined paper, you know, our cardstock, our 100-pound and 80-pound black and white cardstock. You'll be able to get Simply Defined craft mats. What you won't be able to get is Simply Defined dies, stamps, or stencils. Those are coming to a pause as I am one of the newest licensed artists for Sizzix. So I'm going to be designing for Sizzix for a while, and then when I'm not, I can bring Simply Defined back. I'll bring it back. But it was only fair to put it on pause. I can't design for both at the same time. It's just not possible. So we're not ending it in its entirety. We're putting the dies and the stamps and the stencils on pause. So after this collection of layering stencils, there's only 1 more set left, and that will be in December. And then all of it, I can't design anything new. I can sell what I've already manufactured, but I can't design anything new. That is all going to be for Sizzix, and my first collection will be in March. So excited about that. All right, so I've got Versus, Simply Defined, Jacquard, a whole lot of stuff to play with, and hopefully showing you some tips and tricks that maybe you didn't know, or explain some things about some inks that you weren't sure of. You know what I forgot? I forgot a dye-based ink. I need that. Hold, please. I need a dye-based ink. Wait. I'm just going to grab any old colors. Okay, grabbed any old colors, and I'm gonna grab any old colors of these. Okay, I came back. Shh. Like it never happened. Hello. Pay no attention to just what took 30 seconds of my time and yours. I'm back. I knew I was forgetting something on my table. I just knew it, but now I've got it, so I feel better. Okay, so what were we talking about? Oh, what I have for you. Some of you are going, oh, I can't do this with her. I'm so sorry. I get it. If that's the case, if I'm just a little bit too extra, and it is my birthday, so it's okay to be a little bit extra, right? If I'm just too extra, just wait till the end of the premiere. And then you can come back and you can go bzzz, fast forwarding. That's my fast forward. Bzz, bzz, fast forward. And when you see me tilt on down, because I am my own camera person, that's when we start getting into the class and the teaching and the techniques. But for now, hello. Okay, so I've got Jacquard, I've got Verses, I've got Simply Defined, I have something, I'm so excited it's finally back. It only took years and years and years, but I finally have them back, and I'm beyond excited. Also, I'll show you those. And we're just gonna play. The Jacquard ink, I think, is where we're going to start, because Jacquard is a fine art company. That's what they're really known for, is their fine art mediums. Their Pearlex and their Lumieres and their Pinata alcohol inks. Oh, swoon. Oh my gosh, the colors are so intense. So when Jacquard purchased Colorbox, or Clear Snap, which made Colorbox, they got into the ink world too. And having a fine art company make ink, well, you know the quality is going to be insane. And it is all manufactured right here in the United States. It's amazing. It trumps a lot of other inks out there because they understand fine art quality. So they're making you a product that is a higher end product, but charging less for it because, well, they can. So I'm going to talk to you maybe a little bit about, I think that's where we're going to start, is with the Jacquard inks, and then we'll go into the stencils and just have a great day today. I'm so glad to be here with you. I don't know when October 7th is going to fall on a Saturday again, but, well, then we'll celebrate my birthday one more time then. All right, I'm going to put on my glasses. We're going to tilt on down for today. I've got some samples to show you, and I will see you in just a little bit. Bye. Down I go. Okay, so what am I doing for my birthday? Well, yes, I'm going to Disneyland, but I'm not going by myself. My very, very good friend has her birthday today, actually. Hello, Leslie. Happy birthday. It is your birthday today, which I'm filming this on Friday. So October 6th is her actual birthday, and mine is the 7th. So we always go to Disneyland and have a too much fun day. All right, samples. Let me show you some samples. Look, isn't that beautiful? So the stencil is Simply Defined Layering Stencil, and the sentiment is from Verses. So pretty. And then here, the stencil is a Simply Defined Layering Stencil, and the sentiment is from Verses. So pretty. And the little butterflies. I'll see if we have any of these little butterflies left, and if we do, I'll put them on the YouTube Yummies. I'm not sure if we have any of them left. They are from Katie Sue. All right, Katie Sue Designs. All right, so let's get started for today, shall we? Let's talk about Color Pad and Jacquard. So these are a pigment-based ink, and there are 21 colors of them. We are going to launch them 7 colors at a time. 7 colors, and these were the first 7 colors that I chose. Do they have re-inkers? You bet they do. So 7 new colors in a pigment-based ink and 7 re-inkers from Jacquard. Now you may be saying, well, what does a pigment ink do, and why would I need a pigment ink? I think to explain it, the best way to explain it really is to know if you know your ABCs. In fact, I'm going to tilt back up because I like to talk to you. If you know your ABCs, do you know your ABCs? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you know your ABCs, you know how to decide what ink is what to tell, what is different between the inks. So if we start at the beginning of the alphabet, which starts with A stands for an alcohol ink or a permanent type of ink. Stays on, it has an alcohol-based ink. Copic markers are an alcohol-based ink. So An alcohol-based ink is A. And A, being the first letter of the alphabet, means it dries like that. Super fast. Super fast. Then we skip letter B and we go to letter C. C stands for a chalk-based ink. Now, Clear Snap and Color Box were known for their chalk-based inks, and I don't know if Asher's gonna bring them back or not from Jacquard. Hey, Asher. He's the big wig. He's the high-end mucky muck. He's the one that I really want to like me, because if he likes me, well then I get all those fabulous things. So I'm not sure if Asher is going to bring back chalk-based inks, but chalk-based inks dry a little bit slower than an alcohol-based ink. So A being the first letter, C being the third letter, and so A dries the fastest, C dries almost as fast as A, but not quite. Then you move to the letter D, dye-based ink. Now, dye-based ink is the most common ink in the industry. It's what you find almost everywhere, and it's what most people use stamping all the time as a dye-based ink. So dye is D, and D is really close to C. So dye dries almost as fast as chalk-based ink, but not quite. It dries just a little bit slower. And then we get all the way down in the alphabet. We're gonna forget E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. We're gonna get to P. So we need to move all the way down the alphabet to something called pigment-based ink. Well, if A, alcohol-based ink, is the first letter of the alphabet and it dries the fastest, and P is all the way down the road, it's like, hey, P, what you doing down there? That means it dries the slowest. It takes the longest to dry, and most often a pigment-based ink is used with an embossing powder because it stays wet long enough for you to put an embossing powder on top of it so that you can heat it and make magic. Pigment-based inks are also more opaque. That means that they sit on top of the paper. They don't absorb in, they sit on top. Alcohol ink seeps right on into the paper. Chalk ink absorbs right into the paper. Dye-based ink absorbs right into the paper. It is on porous materials, it just sucks right on in. But then we get to pigment-based ink. Hey, Pigment, how you doing down there? It takes a long time to dry, and it sits on top of your paper. So when you are out looking for inks at your local independent craft store, if you have got one, shop there. I wish I had a list. Maybe I should do that. I don't know how I would do that. I'm going to think about that and figure out how I could give a shout out to some local independent craft stores. I don't know yet. We're going to figure that out. But if you have one, when you are shopping in their store, if you know your ABCs, you can remember your ACDPs. A for alcohol dries the fastest. C for chalk ink dries almost as fast. D for dye-based inks dries almost as fast as chalk. And then P, when you're looking at a pigment-based ink, it's all the way down the road and takes a longer time to dry. Just remember your ABCs. There's only so many kinds of inks out there. Really, primarily it's alcohol, chalk, dye, and pigment. Those are pretty much the basis of everything. So if you can keep that in your mind when you're out shopping going, I don't know why all these inks are here. I mean, the store has 14 different brands and they all say something different. What do they do? Look to see, is it a dye-based ink? Well, you know that that's going to dry pretty darn quick. So if you're going to want to use it with embossing powder, oh no, that's not the one for you. Or when you pick up a color and you see it says pigment-based ink and you're hoping to use it with alcohol markers, oh no, that one's not for you. Just remember your ABCs and you can remember your ACDPs. ACDPs, that'll tell you the order of your ink. All right, I'm gonna tilt back down again. Bye everybody. Now for some of you who know that already, that's just review and you've heard it before, but there will be people who are on this YouTube or who eventually watch this class who will have never heard of that before, and all of a sudden they have a way of keeping track of understanding what ink does what. So this is a pigment-based ink and there is 21 colors. We're launching them 7 at a time. Do you know what else is a pigment-based ink? Most of your metallic inks in the market are pigment-based inks. Do you know what else is a pigment-based ink? White. White typically is a pigment-based ink because it needs to sit on top of the paper, not absorb in. Otherwise, the white just absorbs in and it would go away. Do you know what else is pigment-based ink? Tim Holtz oxides are pigment-based ink. This is pigment-based ink. I wonder if we can do similar things. I'm thinking yes. But I want to show you. So before we really get started playing with some of the inks, I thought it best to kind of walk you through. Now I don't have any chalk inks because chalk inks are hard to find, but I know oodles of you still have the color box chalk inks, so I didn't want to not include that in my understanding of my ABCs of inks. So I've got here just a piece of white paper, and I have got a alcohol ink marker. This one is by Couture Creations and alcohol based. And this is why everybody loves alcohol based, because it doesn't leave any of the lines or the striations from a marker. It does tend to go through, but it dries instantaneously. It's absorbing right into this paper. So whether you're using a Copic or a Spectrum Noir or a Couture Creations or a StazOn, StazOn is also an alcohol-based ink, and it dries instantaneously, super fast, and it will start to bleed through, which really doesn't matter because who looks at the back side of your paper anyway? So this is alcohol ink. Dries number 1 because of the A. First letter of the alphabet. Then we would have chalk-based ink that would fit here. Starts with C. Next closest letter to alphabet that is of an ink. Then we get into a dye-based ink. Dye-based ink. Same thing. Dries fast. It's supposed to. Most people will ink up a stamp with these and stamp with it. A dye-based ink does not go through your paper. A dye-based ink isn't as saturated and with the alcohol, it just goes right through. Dye-based ink, it's going to dry super fast. It is D. So this is number 3, and it's a D. This is number 2. So ACD. Fast, chalk base would be almost as fast, dye base. And since they're so close together, they really do dry within just seconds of each other. You will not see a noticeable difference between alcohol, chalk, and dye-based ink. But then we get all the way over to pigment-based ink. And let's just take pigment-based ink. See how wet it is? See what it does? It takes longer to dry. Will it dry? Yes, of course it will. Yes, it will dry. And there's a way to get it to dry faster, but it doesn't move like the dye-based by any stretch of the imagination. So much longer to dry. This is P. P equals number 4, the longest for pigment, and this is DYE. So while these three pretty much dry in the same amount of time, this one does take longer, but this one also allows you to use embossing powder over the top of it, where these would not. So if I were to take and let's get a little bit of a, gosh, I wonder if I have enough white paper. My guess is I'm gonna need some more. So there's my alcohol, and if I was to put some embossing powder over the top of it, nothing sticks. Comes right off. It just dries too fast. And if I was to take some dye-based ink, and put some embossing powder over the top of it, and tilt it off, tap, 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 tap. Again, it's not going to stick. It just won't. This doesn't stay wet long enough for your ink, for your embossing powder to hold to it. But if I was to come in, ooh, I made a mess. If I was to come in with my pigment-based ink, and let's even give it a second, right? Let's even give it a second. Hello, let's talk for just a minute. Oh, should we maybe do another color? Oh, isn't that beautiful? I love this color. I love this color. I do. There is just a little bit of happiness. So let's just let those, well, I did this one. I let that one sit for a minute. Can you see how it's clinging to the color? That's because this ink stays wet long enough for this embossing powder to grab hold. And then it would let us heat set. Now, for those of you who have not seen embossing powder before, see what happens? Embossing powder is a granulated plastic. That's all it is a ground up plastic. And the grind is so thin and so fine that you are able to take a heat tool, not a blow dryer. Some of you use a paint stripper, God bless your pea picking hearts, but a heat tool, and change that that powder into a solid. So I can continue on. I'll do half of both. it adds that beautiful shine to it. And the minute the plastic is cooled down, it's dry. I put my finger in that one, it wasn't quite cool enough. But once it's cooled down, it's dry. You don't have to wait, it's not wet. But the thing is, if you don't heat the whole thing, that plastic is still just plastic and can just be wiped away. So embossing powder is super fun, but you can only use it with certain types of inks, and pigment-based ink is the most common. So I'm gonna play a little bit with some of these pigment-based inks. And I think before I do anything, I wanna show you the colors. So let's start with yellow. Now, how far will pigment-based ink go? Okay, so you saw I put my blender, my tool in there. I haven't put my tool back in there. So I haven't dipped back in to get more color. I'm starting to get a little bit low, but look at how much I colored with one little tap tap. You're like, wow, and I'm like, I know, right? So now I can finish this side with my second little tap tap that I did. So pigment-based ink goes a long way. That was with two little taps. I mean, that covered that. That's pretty good, right? I know, huh? So two little taps did that. Let me wipe my table. So now let me show you the colors. A little ink goes a long way, and Jacquard, their Color Pad inks, have a little bit higher foam pad on the pigments that then hold more color for you. It's amazing. So I am not gonna have enough white paper. I can already tell you that. Good thing I have it next to me. All right, so let's go ahead and do some of the colors so you can see them. And can you shade these? Yes, you can. So I've got my little mat here. It's a blending mat from Woodware. It actually comes really big, like this size. And I cut mine down so that I have a couple different sizes depending on what I'm doing. You could even just cut it in half and share it with somebody. And it's $4.40 when it's on sale. And it really is a saver of inks. So if I wanted, I could tap tap in here and then tap tap on here and move some of that ink on there so that maybe I can go back and pick it up, and it allows me to control my color a little bit better. So because I tap tapped, I can go back in here and pick this up and come back here and add that in. So I'm darker on one side, and then I lighten my color up, tap tap some of that off, lighten my color up on. So yes, you can get variations of color. It doesn't have to be solid, solid. So there's the yellow. It's called Canary. And these are the first 7 colors we're doing. Then I think I'll do the Peony. And see, look at how strong that is. And Peony. And I'm gonna tap a little more off. Holy smokes. Well, I had a lot on Peony. Pick some of that back up, and let's get it really dark on the end. pick it back up and get it really dark on the end. And then soften it out and have that variation of color. So there's Peony. Oh, I'm not going to get all my colors in here. And then next, let's do Harbor. And you're not going to want to use blending brushes with these. You know, the bristle brushes that we usually use? You're not going to want to use blending brushes with these because the ink is wet. It will cause those bristles to kind of stick together. So you're going to want to use your foam. And these are by our friends at Woodware. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and get as many, I don't know if I can get them all in. Let's do red or green. Just kind of lighten it out as it goes. Real dark towards the end. And then just soften it out. And then let's go to our next color and we'll do the blue. Oh my gosh, I still have 2 colors left. I'm not gonna get them in. We'll do the purple. Now I'm just gonna try and get them in there. I made my pink too big. I was doing good until I got to the pink one was the second one. All right, and then the last one's going to be ruby red, and we'll just get a splice of it, but I think you'll get the idea of the color. All right, I got them in there. So these are the first 7 colors that we're doing. And yes, they have re-inkers. Now this is still wet. So I can still use this ink until it's all dried up. And when it is all dried up, I can come in and clean it right off my mat. The mat allowed me to stop wasting my ink, because I used to take like my tool and I would get ready to mix on it and I was tapping it off on a piece of paper. I would tap off my color and then I'd lose the color. Now tapping it off on this little mat, I get to keep the color. And I'm just gonna wipe it all down. Oh, that was from last week. Okay, so we've kind of played showing the difference between an alcohol versus a chalk, which I don't have, a dye-based and a pigment-based, and how they are used differently. See, this is now dry, so it's not gonna smear anymore. It's now dry. It took a little bit of time, but it took much longer than these three, but it also allows us to do the heat emboss, which we couldn't do any other way. We need that ink to do heat emboss. Because they are a pigment-based ink, they really are a blendable ink, like really blendable. Let's take that peony. Okay, so I've got some peony. Now maybe we take that Harbor and take it right into that peony. So very much like an oxide ink where you can blend to get those beautiful, beautiful seamless blends. Come back with my peony. And get those beautiful, beautiful blends. This is how they do it. It's with a pigment-based ink. Lots of you have oxides, yes, and absolutely, they're going to work perfectly. Some of you have never seen or heard of oxides before, and well, this is gonna give you an opportunity. Oxides are by Ranger and Tim Holtz. These are by Jacquard and give you that beautiful blend quality. Let's take my yellow. Now I'm going to take my yellow into my blue. And I'm going to take my, well, it's my Harbor. I'm going to take my Harbor. And I'm going to make that beautiful seamless blend. This is how they do it. It is this type of ink that allows you to achieve this type of look. Let's take my purple. I need to not have that there. I just need to pull from here. I've got plenty in here. Okay, now I've got my purple going on. Now I'll come back with that peony. And I'll blend that in there. And I'll come back with my purple. And I'll soften that up a little bit. I can come back with my peony and make those blends. Let's come in with my yellow. A little bit of purple. Yellow and purple are not the best color combination, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. And look at my blends. This is what this ink is known for. Let's take a red. Red, red. So ruby, purple. There we go. Oh, I just put my fingers in the pink. There, perfect fingerprint. Let's get some ruby on here. And we'll take the ruby into the purple and the yellow. And then come back, and my purple is here. Kind of blend them together. Soften that blend out. A little bit of yellow. Soften that blend out. This is why you want the pigment-based inks if you are doing blending. They're beautiful. Can you get it done with dye-based inks? You can, but it's a different look and it's not quite as bold and they don't blend like this. Last one I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't do green. I'll do the blue. Forgive me for not doing green. Blue, blue, blue. Blue, blue, blue. Pick up some more blue. And then come in with my purple. And blend, blend, blend. You see those beautiful backgrounds that are done. You're like, my gosh, how did they get those colors so intense and so pretty? This is it. Pick up some red. Soften that blue line right out. That's how it's done. And because I was using the blender, it's not sitting so heavy on top. It would be different. It would be different if I was so here I was taking it, picking it up, and moving it around. And by doing that, you get a much quicker dry time. Much quicker. Versus going in and making a solid color. You can even see that it's wet. Versus having a much faster dry time because I'm sponging it. Yet I still have all of that blendability. So I'm picking up that peony that went down first. And you just kind of work between the two colors until you've got the blend that makes your heart happy. And you just make those seamless blends. So not only does pigment-based ink blend like this and keep that intense color, it also can be kept wet enough to use that embossing powder on. They're beautiful and they're easy to use. How do they work on black paper? Well, let's do it. And let's see if I do a better job getting all the colors in. Wish me luck. So let's just start apples to apples because I think that's only fair. Remember, we did this on white. So let's start with our alcohol ink marker because that's what we started with, right? So there you have alcohol ink on black paper. There you have alcohol ink on white paper. Big difference. Don't have a chalk base, but let's go ahead and put our dye based. And I used this one. Same color, apples to apples. Black paper, white paper. You're like, no, that can't be true. Oh, but it is. See? Because it's an ink that absorbs into paper, it's absorbing into the black, and the black is obscuring all the color. Yeah, same ink. But then we go into the pigment-based ink. I'm out of peony over here. So it sits on top where you can see some of the peony. And the more you add, the darker and more intense the color gets. So if I let this sit here for a minute, that's more intense than it was just a moment ago. And if I let it sit for a few minutes and then add it in again, every time I'm adding another layer, the intensity of my color is more. It will take longer for it to dry because it is not absorbing in. So remember, one layer was like that. Here I've got 3 layers. It will take longer to dry. You may want to take embossing powder, throw that embossing powder right on top, and then you're encapsulating that color in plastic. So you don't have to wait anymore for it to dry because the plastic coating is going to take care of that for you. So I have 2 different intensities, 2 different saturations of the same color. Super and just 1 coat. I still have all of this that I can use. I'm not going to get rid of that yet. Heat tool, not a blow dryer. And gosh, if you can do it with a paint stripper, like I said, bless your heart. So you can see the two different colors. That came from the same ink. This one down here was just one coat. This one here was like 3 or 4 coats. And as soon as my paper's cool, I'm good. Now this isn't gonna smear because the plastic has coated it, has made it now a non-porous material, and there's no way to get that out. It's not gonna smear. Can I go over the top of it if I want? Yes, absolutely I can. What if I say, that's just not dark enough for me? What if I want it a little darker? Right over the embossing powder that I had. And I can double emboss it. I can triple emboss it. It's up to me. I'm going to leave this one coat. And I am using, for my embossing powder, I'm using the embossing powder from Jacquard. It is Jacquard embossing powder. They only do clear, and they do it just for this ink. Put it all back in that I didn't use. Your clear embossing powder is going to last quite a long time. It's really awesome if you're stamping sentiments on a dark colored paper with a pigment-based ink and then use embossing powder over the top. And then it becomes magic. Now you can see where I didn't add any heat. That is still powder. And until I add heat, it will remain powder. Then I need to let my paper cool. As soon as it's cool to the touch, you know your embossing powder is cool as well. There we go. So pigment-based inks are meant to do oodles of different things. It's really the blendability and the dry time that makes them completely different than your alcohol ink or your chalk-based ink or your dye-based ink. Let me clean this. And maybe this is just a refresher on inks, but for some of you, this may be the first time you've ever heard of the ABCs of ink. The way to know how fast an ink dries is to know your ABCs. Alcohol dries the fastest. Chalk is C, it's close to A. It dries almost as fast as alcohol, but not quite. D is right next to C. Chalk and dye dry like this between each other. I mean, there's no noticeable difference. But then you get all the way down to P. P is the furthest letter in the alphabet. It's going to require longer dry time, but gives you the opportunity to do embossing and gives you the opportunity to do blending, where you've got those beautiful seamless blends that you see on all the bloggers and the influencers, and they make these stunning cards, and it's like, how did they get that color that way? That's how. It's the ink. The ink does all the work for you. And again, no brush blending tool. You're going to want to stick with a foam-based tool, not a felt-based, a foam-based tool. All right, so that was a good start, wasn't it? Should we move into some of the stencils now? So I have 2 new stencils. 1 and 2. They are layering stencils. You can use layer, on this one you can use layer 1 with layer 3, you can use layer 2 with layer 3. I mean, you have some options. Super easy, super pretty. And both of them are floral based. So I think I'm just gonna do them, I think I'll do them easy peasy. Maybe I'll start with this one. These are Simply Defined, so the only place you're going to find them is Scrapbooking Made Simple. I manufacture these for about another hot minute. and then you'll see tons of lovely things from Sizzix from me. Tons of Stacy Sizzix. But Simply Defined will come to a little bit of a pause, except for the Stacy tape and the sticky dots and the paper. That all goes forward. We're not canceling everything out, just dies, stamps, and stencils, and only while I'm designing for Sizzix. It would really just be impossible for me to try and figure out how to design for 2 companies at the same time. Okay, so what do I want to do? So I've got A here, and there's a little letter that says A and an arrow pointing this way and then another arrow pointing up. You'll notice I've put tabs on my stencils, and this is so you, 1, have an alignment tool for it, and 2, so you can tape it down easier. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to start with A. I'm going to make sure that my A is here and my arrow is there. My arrow up is here and my A is pointing that way. And that way I know that all of my stencils will line up. I'm gonna do a piece of washi tape there and a piece of washi tape here. And then one at the top and one at the bottom. I don't cover all of the tabs because I use 2 of the tabs as ways to set registration marks. Okay, so ways to set registration marks. I think I'm gonna grab my yellow because you know me and yellow. And I can grab my little mat. Yeah, I don't have any yellow on there, so go ahead and get some yellow going on. And let's see. So I'm just gonna go in here and I'm just gonna start adding some color. Now it's up to me how much I use. I can be heavy-handed in some areas and have that color very intense, or I can be very light and really ease up on that color. So you have highlights and midtones. Not everything is the same color all the way around. I'm trying to have some dimension. And by having some highs and some lows, it really gives your eyes something to try and focus on. It gives it the finished look a little bit more dimension. If everything is the same color all the way through, the same intensity, the same saturation, it really just looks flat. And we're trying to add life to paper. We're trying to give it some breath, some, oh my gosh, that's paper? Yes, that's what we're trying to achieve. And the best way to do that is to have variation in your color. So I've got some in here. I've got it definitely darker down here, but much lighter up here. I've got some more depth of color over here. It really is up to you how much color you want and where you want it. Okay, I'm gonna say that's good. I'm gonna do the 2 tabs. So I'm gonna add some color right to those 2 tabs. And they are now going to act as my registration marks. That means when I pull this off and I layer my next layer on top, all I have to do is line them up with the outlines of those 2 tabs. You're like, I don't get it. Okay, give me a minute. Hold please, getting there. I'm going to put this one over here for a moment. And I'm going to bring stencil number 2, B. My B is right here. My up is right there. So I know if my up is here, I need my B facing out. And I've got those 2 tabs that you can clearly see the outline on. Now all I have to do is line up my stencil. And if I do, it's going to line up perfectly. Now, if I have my little tab and I have white showing, can you see I've got white showing? I know that that's not lined up properly. I need that white paper to not be showing. So I need to pull this back up and find where it lines up. Then come back down here, make sure I'm lined up there. If I was like this, that's no good either. I need to line it up. Now I'm a little bit off here, and I just line that back up. And once I have it lined up, as close as I can get it, then I can put my washi tape or whatever tape you're using to hold it down. And again, I'm not going to cover these 2 because those are my registration marks. So that comes down just a little bit, that comes down just a little bit. And I'm going to say I'm good. And for me, close enough is good. And I put my tape. That's a big piece. And my tape. Oh, don't cover up your stencil, Stacy. All right. So now what color do we want to do? I think maybe red? Ruby? And now I come in. And I can either run it across, because this is a stencil that doesn't have little trellises or tendrils that could kind of pull up or pull down. These are just big old open holes. So I can go this way. If I needed to be more careful, I would spounce. And I can kind of decide where I want it lighter and where I want it darker. And I'm using this as my palette. And that way I don't waste any of my ink. A couple of them really dark, and a couple of them nice and light. Just so there's a varying, just so not everything is the same, just so your eye has an opportunity to focus in. Okay, I think that's good. And peel up. And I've got to start. So I'm going to put this one right there for right now, and I'm going to bring over my last stencil. So I've got my up and my letter C. I'm going to line it up with my registration marks. And grab some tape. And grab my green. So layering stencils don't have to be overcomplicated and too difficult. And they should do what they say they're going to do. Let's grab my green, my little pad over here. Let's go get some. And see how much I've got. Ooh, Stacy, finger right in there. Hello. See how much I've got to play with? Now these are very fine lines, so you see I'm not doing this. I'm really digging in there and moving some of this ink around. Once I've got like a little foundation of ink on my stencil, then I can kind of move it around. And where I want it darker, I really spounce. And where I want it lighter, I just rub a little bit lighter, although I think I've got this almost the same color all the way through. But we'll see. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, I missed that one in its entirety. And we're done. Now all we have to do is kind of remove the noise around it. I call all of this stuff noise because it's a detractor for me. So I can either leave it with that little white border going all the way around it, or I could cut right up to the stencil. I'm leaving that little white border. Could you do this with dye-based ink? Yes, absolutely you can. And it's done. But I still have all of this yellow left on here. I didn't wipe it off yet. I have all of that yellow. And here you have, I want to make sure I get it in the right direction. Here you have a couple opportunities. I could just clean this right off, absolutely. And with a dye-based ink, I don't know that you're going to have as much saturation. I could clean this off and just wipe it down. I could come back in and add a little bit more yellow and go in and do it again. Or I can do, let's clean it up at the same time that I'm stenciling. I have a baby wipe. Because if I go back in and I add more yellow, at some point I'm gonna need to use my baby wipe to get the yellow off. But what if I just come in here and just kind of grab some of that yellow, and as I'm cleaning, make sure I get my my registration. So as I'm cleaning, whistle while you work. So there's one. And then let's grab number 2. And let's line it up. And yes, the colors are lighter. I'm not even going to change my baby wipe. It's going to give you a completely different look, more like a watercolory look, because we're adding that wetness from our baby wipe to manipulate the color. Okay. Two. And wipe it on down, finish wiping it. I could have gone back and, I could have just, there was enough ink on there to probably do a whole nother full stencil. And then last but not least, my green. Make sure that my arrow and my C are going in the right direction. Line it up. And I'm still not going to change my baby wipe. And I'm just trying to get some green in here. Is it going to be intense? No. I had to clean my stencil anyway. Do I have control of my color? No. Am I okay with that? Oh, you bet I am. Okay. Worst thing is you don't like it. That's the worst case scenario. You had to clean your stencil anyway, and it is just white paper. Look at how sweet and soft. Very watercolory. And this one I'm cutting right up to the stencil. I'm not keeping that extra white line around. Very watercolory. I like watercolory. That's what pigment-based ink will let you do. With a dye-based ink and a brush, so if we were using blending brushes, there would be no ink left on this with a blending brush. You wouldn't have enough ink to go back and do that with. But with a pigment-based ink, absolutely. And you choose which one you like, but you don't really have to choose because you get to do both. And you have 2 cards right here. This one a little softer, so maybe I bold up the color with a strong matte. Maybe you just like the softness of it. But you have 2, and even if you don't use it right away, file it away, ready to go. So when you do need to make something quick, you've got one to start with. You have options here, absolutely. And then we clean. I am gonna get a new baby wipe now. And I just clean all my color off of it. So I did these for you now. And when I was QCing the samples, I did these. So a little bit lighter. This was done with the Harbor color. Both of these were done with the Harbor color. A little bit lighter I went in with the color. A little bit darker I went in with the color. Same colors, same two, the same yellow and the same blue, different looks. So let's move on to the next stencil. And it's here. I'm also going to wipe down my craft mat, my little okay, so let's see. And what colors do I want to do for this one? I did that one in peony. Maybe I do this one in yellow and Harbor. Maybe I do the yellow Harbor. I don't know. Let's pull it out and decide. So again, it's a 3 stencil set. And they're marked A, B, and C. This one you have a couple options on, whether you put A before B or B before C. You really have a couple options. It depends upon the color inks you're going to use. Let's start with A. So A has a little bit less of a design on it. B has more open design. So B, when you put B on top, the color that you use is going to have to be lighter than what you use for your A. Because if I go really light here with A, and then I go on top with B and I go really dark, you're going to mask, you're going to hide all the color from A. It's going to just disappear. So if I go I'm going to leave 2 of them open. If I go dark here and do a dark color and then put my B over the top, and do a light color, you're going to see very little of that light color. Wait, Stacy, think about this. Wait. Okay, so I need to think about this. You know what? Let's do it in yellow and blue, and then blue and yellow. And that way I'm 100% positive. So if I do this, this is my A, and if I do it in light color, and then I put my dark color over the top, the blue, you're not gonna see, no, it's the dark color that goes down first. Hello, Stacy. Let's do this in blue. Let's do that in blue. So first color, dark. And I'm not gonna blend. We're gonna blend the next one. I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna do some blends. Okay, so darker color, right? I have another one. I have another one. A. Tape it down. We're going to go apples to apples, side by side. So I've got two of the exact same stencil here, side by side. And this one will do lighter. And we'll see the difference. So let's go yellow. Make sure I get my... Okay, apples to apples. Yellow, blue. Take it off. Yellow. Shoop. Blue. Now let's take our next layer right over the top of both of them. So I've got my B and my arrow. I'll line it up. That looks pretty good. I think apples to apples is always the best way to go, especially since we're using white paper. We have options here. And then same stencil over here, line it up. That looks pretty good. And then we'll do opposite colors. So now we're going to take yellow and go over this one with yellow. So let's pick up some of my yellow. Let's grab some more. Nope, smearing. Nope, dab, dab, dab. My ink is not dry yet and it's smearing. All right, I've got some yellow going on. Yeah, not loving that. Not so much. And I bet my blue is going to cover all of that up. Maybe I need a different color combination. So I'm going to go light so I can still see my yellow kind of coming through. Yeah, I'm not crazy about my color combination. No, not so much. Maybe we change it up. I'm like, meh. I'm going to reline it up and see if I am not loving this. I should finish it. I should finish it. Okay, I'm going to finish this one. I should finish it, even though I'm not loving it. I should do what I say and say what I do. I always tell you guys to finish it, so I'm going to finish it. But I'm like, man, I don't think so. I've got my C and my... Okay, that looks pretty good. Finish it. Finish it. Right? So making sure nope, I'm a little bit off on that one. I'm just going to push this one back up a little bit. Finish it. Let's grab my green and see what happens. What's the worst that happens? It's white paper and I didn't like it. And let's grab my green. So for those of you who are watching for the first time, my YouTubes are unedited and unscripted, and what happens, happens. And we see it and share it together. Because not everything goes exactly the way you think it's going to go. Just stuck my fingers in the blue. Okay. All right, let's see what happens. I don't know either. Oh, it's not so bad after all. Okay. All right, it's not so bad after all. I was ready to put it in the trash, but maybe I shouldn't. That's not so bad after all. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm I'm gonna be okay with that. It's better than I thought it was gonna come out. But I still have this one, and I am not crazy about this one, and I'm gonna see if I can fix it. I'm just not happy with it. So what are we gonna do? We started with the blue, and then we went with the yellow over the top, and I'm just not loving that yellow over the top. What if I come back in, line it back up, and see what we can do? I don't know that I could make it worse. We're gonna find out. Yeah, I'm just not. What if I came back and I just did the whole thing in blue? To try and fix it. Or should I try a different color? See if I can get it to change. Well, we can just keep layering until I find a color I'm happy with. Let's try. Let's try the peony. You never know till you know. So I'm trying to squash out some of that color I do not like. Can you believe I don't like the yellow? Mark the date on the calendar. Now I'm trying to go dark, so I'm not worried about taking it off. I'm trying to get it as solid as I can get it. That's pretty solid. And what if I threw some embossing powder over the top of it because I've got so much ink on there? Okay. Put all my embossing powder away. Let's see what happens. Again, worst case scenario is it's just awful. Changing it till it melts. And you can definitely see a difference. Okay. So what if I do it one more time? You're like, that's an awful lot of fixing work for one piece of white paper. Well, I know, but still. So I've already embossed it once. What if I add another coat of ink? Line it up, it's a little bit off. The top one looks good, it's the bottom one that seems to be off. Stop. Okay, that's it. Right there, I'm lined up on the top, I'm lined up on the bottom. And let's just add more. I'm just fixing a mistake. Or not. Embossing powder one more time. So could you do this with a dye-based ink? Oh no. No, no. You would have been done a while ago. You would have you'd have mud for a color. But because the color sits on top of the paper, you get to play and fix and alter and change. And then I move my heat embossing tool as I see the color change, as I see the powder melt. I don't linger. If it's changed color, if it's melted, move on. Don't linger. Okay. Oh, now it's even more pink. Okay, so I'm better with that color since I did it twice. You basically don't see what started. That works for me. I'm happy with that. And then let's do the final touches. So that's there. And that's there. That looks good. Let's just do the final touches in green. Oh, I've got all of these sticking to each other. Gosh, and I want to blend one. Maybe I use the other one and blend the other one. Okay, so let's grab green. I can almost pull what's right off yeah, see, I can use what's right on here. I didn't even need to do that. I could just use what's already on my stencil. probably still have enough on here. So we're trying to fix what I didn't like. It'll either be well worth the time. Oh, I moved it. Well worth the time or not. Done. I'm just going to let it be. Okay. I'm actually okay with it. You would never know that there was yellow and blue and who knows what other colors were underneath there. I made my yellow and my blue made a weird green. Just fix our mistake. I used embossing powder to kind of encapsulate my colors. I'm okay with that. And now that I look at this one, I'm okay with this one. I want to play though. I want to do some blending of colors. So I'm going to bring back my first one. Do I want to bring back this one? Well, I still can do this one. What do I want to do? Do I want to do this one or do I want to do the first one? I don't know. So I'm opening new ones because I don't want to clean the other ones. I know, I'm lazy, but this YouTube's already going to be who knows how long. Let's see what we can do here in blending. And I'll use the same colors for both. That way it keeps it simple for me. So let's start with layer A. On this one. And I wonder if we start with layer B. Maybe we'll start with layer B on this one and do layer B light and then put layer A on top and do that darker. Let's mix up the layers a little bit. So I've got both stencils going now. And let's tape down this one. And let's just make sure I've got my layers in the right order. Yep, A. Yep, okay. So I've got my arrow pointing up and my A on this one facing out. And this one I started with my B. Since the B is bigger, maybe I'll do the B first in the lighter color and then put stencil A on top. Okay, so let's use the same colors. I'm gonna go back to my yellow and get a new pad. So yellow, 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 yellow. And then the lighter, lighter, lighter. Or maybe I do this, the blending, 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 blending. And then the blending, 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 blending. Okay, all we can do is try. And we'll use that and we'll use that and we'll use the peony. So canary, since I've got peony right here, and you know what, I might change, yeah, we'll use change my pad. And peony is here, or should I use red? Oh, decisions. Okay, so yellow. So let's just do a little bit of yellow and see what happens. So a little bit of yellow. and a little bit of yellow. Now let's try red. No clue what's going to happen. Two totally different stencils. Now come back and add a little bit of yellow. Just to make that beautiful soft blend. All right. Now we'll go red on here too. Come back with a little bit of yellow. Okay, layer one done. Let's see what we get. Okay, well that's pretty. I could just put my greenery on this one and be done. That's pretty. Okay, that's a little soft, but that's all right. We'll see what happens. Now let's go here, which is actually A. I reversed them. Just to see how I feel about it. I think that looks good. Okay, so tape this one down and let's get that one done. And then let's come back over. Let's grab the second one to this, which is here, and line it up. And let's try this one. And I'm going to do the same. You know, I'm going to add a color to this one, I think. But I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to go yellow over the whole thing. You sure? I'm not sure. No, not red, Stacy. I got my yellow in my red. Okay, let's add some more yellow now. Oh, Stacy. All right. I have no idea. I got yellow and red here. So I'm gonna wipe this one off. Let's see if I can get this one wiped off and get some of that red out. And let's go back and do yellow. And let's do peony. I'm just going to let those colors kind of blend. Okay. So let's see what we got. Oh, that's very pretty. Oh, that's very pretty. Okay, now the greenery. Because the greenery is where everything ties in together. And then I think the last thing we'll do is we'll do one on black. Tape. So 7 new colors of the Jacquard pigment-based inks. That allow you to blend like oxide. They allow you to emboss with embossing powder. They give you an opportunity that is different from a dye-based ink. That's upside down. There we go. They give you a completely different opportunity than a dye-based ink, and you do have to use them with a foam. Don't ruin your beautiful brushes. Pigment-based ink is wetter. I don't want to say it's stickier, it's thicker. And your beautiful brushes will not like them. But your foam applicators will be thrilled. Okay, so now I'm just going to do green for both. I've got green sitting over here, so I might as well pick it up. And because I've got those little curly cues every here and now and then, I'm not doing so much rubbing as I am just kind of blotting. Once you've got a good amount of ink down, then you can kind of rub a little bit better. But until you've got some ink on your stencil, you don't want anything to pull. See, now my foam doesn't go over the top because I've got enough ink on here that I can go in and kind of give it a nice rub. Okay, there's one. And yes, a dye-based ink will work. It just gives you a totally different look. In a dye-based ink, you can absolutely use your blending brushes. But think of this more as similar to a Tim Holtz oxide, where you've got those magnificent blends. Okay. And this is by Jacquard, and it's part of their Color Pad series. All right, let's see what we got. Ruby, canary, green. Let's see what we got. Oh, see, I think that's so pretty. Okay, I love that. That makes my heart happy. Oh yeah, I'm all about this one. I love the blends. Wow, that one came out gorgeous. And because it's layered on thin, it's dry. Oh, I love that. Yay! Wahoo, could you? I'm learning to love this one. And this one's just really bold. Hello. This was our mess up, but we fixed. We can make it work. I think this one's getting prettier as I look at it, but that one makes my heart happy. Oh, but you have so many opportunities. This reminds me of like the poppies, but they're not poppies. Oh my gosh, I love this. They're beautiful. Let's see what we got with this one. Oh, pretty too. Really pretty. I like them. Pretty with all the blends going on. Where did I put the other ones like this? They're here somewhere. Huh. Well, I had them somewhere here. But gosh, they're pretty. All right, well, I don't know what I do with my other samples, but that's okay. Let's see what else we've got going. Let's grab a piece of black paper and try it on black because it is a pigment-based ink. So that means it's gonna sit on top of the black. Now, which one? This one? So I started with that. No, I started with this one. I started with B. Maybe we should have reorganized these and had B as A and A as B, because that seemed to work beautiful. And I'm going black, so I'm gonna go straight from my pad, because I've got black going on. And I'm gonna daub it because I want that color intense. If I start moving it around, it actually picks the color back up and lightens it. And I want this to be as intense can be because I'm on black. Okay, let's get some red. I want it to be as intense can be. So I need it to sit on top of that black and almost be opaque. So I'm going straight out of the ink pad. I'm going to take some up into my yellow. And I'm going to grab some yellow and take it into my red. And then soften them together. We are on black paper. Look at that on black paper. Holy smokes, artichokes! Do I want to come back over the top of it, or do I just want to be done? Do I want to come back over the top of it? Oh, I didn't make my little registration marks. I got so excited. I've got a corner somewhere. I've got that line right there. Do I just want to be done? That's where I would line it up. We want to come back over with some more intense on the let's see. More intense on the yellow. And then more intense on the red. I'm going to leave that center section. I'm not going to touch that center section. I just did the very top and the very bottom. Oh, and now let's add our greenery. That looks good. And I'm going to take it straight from the pad because I want that green to be as green can be because I am on black paper. Ruby, canary, okay, let's get my green. Black paper is the one thing we all have and we never use. I mean, we use it for matting, but we usually don't pull it out to be stenciling on top of. But we all own a ton of it. Okay. Should I give it a second and go over one more coat or just go? Nope, let's just go for it. Oh my gosh, what do you think? Oh, I love it. I don't know which one I like more, the black or the white. The black is so striking. Gosh, and then I could use all of this ink and just keep going. Make a few more. Wow, that's beautiful. And I might just leave that black border all the way around it. What do you think? It's a totally different look. I don't know. I kind of like it. But really, with any other ink, you can't do black paper. This just is not possible. It has to be a pigment-based ink. I don't know if this is wet enough for me to throw embossing powder on. We'll try. It may already be dry, but, well, Eeks. Okay, my embossing powder's stuck. Let's see what happens. Can you see it changing? And then as soon as my paper is cooled, now I've got that glazy glow to it. As soon as my paper is cool, so is my embossing powder. And now I've got that glazy glow to it. Ooh, these are pretty. Holy smokes, artichokes. And I could still come back in this was 1, this was 2. I could still come back in and not add any, just use literally what's on here. I'm just using what's literally on the stencil still. Yep. tape it down. I didn't tape it all the way down. That's my fault. I'm just using what was on the stencil to make a whole nother one. I probably could do one more. A little definition, and then go back in and add my green. You have options, and with so much ink on them, you can go back again and again and again. So pigment-based inks, it's different. It's different than an alcohol-based ink. It's different than a dye-based ink. It's different than a chalk-based ink. It takes the longest to dry, but because of that, it gives you the most opportunity for blending. I found them. Look it, there was our sweet little watercolory one, and our regular one, and the ones that I did for QC samples. I found them. I did this one as a little watery colory one. And this one as a watercolory one. This was a QC sample where I was playing with the watercolory. And then we did some blends. And then we did it on black. And it's not wet. That's the embossing powder. And here was my one I didn't like, and we just tried to fix it. Meh. I'm sure it'll come out beautiful when we do something with it. I'll make the girls do something with it, and it'll come out beautiful. So, the difference between inks, depending on what it is you want to make, you have to use the right ink for the right project. It's important. It's the only way to get things done. If you want a blendable ink, you're going to find that a pigment ink is going to give you, when you want that intense blend, this is the color. This is the ink that you want. But if you're comfortable doing everything with your blending brushes, can you achieve similar results? You can, absolutely. Can you use embossing powders over the top? No, not at all. Absolutely not. No embossing powder, because your ink won't stay wet long enough for it. Will you have enough ink to do pretty little watercolory ones? No, you won't have. The only way to get that done really is with the pigment-based ink. And with the pigment-based ink, because it goes so far, you can do 2 or 3 out of one stencil, just using the ink that was left on it. It's beautiful, really beautiful. And Color Pad has 21 new colors. I picked the first 7, and then we'll do the next 7, and then the last 7. But I thought that this made a really nice starter palette. I thought that this was a really great little starter palette with all the re-inkers, if you would like the re-inkers, which are an important thing to have. So that's where we started. All the colors on their own, simply beautiful. And if you blend them out like we did, they dry. They dry so much faster. This dries so much faster than sitting there and literally daubing them like we did here to get the blends. So you have opportunity with these. They're just different than what a dye-based ink is. And they're not better, they're different. And I think that's an important thing to know. If you have a dye-based ink and you're happy with your dye-based inks, stick with them. But these will give you a little bit more opportunity to play and explore. And those colors are simply bold. Pigment baseds are just beautiful. But we toned them down just by getting them with our wet wipey. So pretty. All right, so that is what today's class was about. Now you're gonna wonder, what is it that you had that was super special that you're excited about? Well, for me it's very exciting because I have my tweezers back. My Simply Defined tweezers have returned to Scrapbooking Made Simple. It has been years since I have had them. I love my tweezers. My tweezers are beautiful. They will go right to your gotcha tool so you don't lose them. And they're only $3.99, which is lower than I think anybody else there for a comparable tweezer. And they even have my Simply Defined is etched right into them, just like before, my Simply Defined. So for my birthday, they made it here in time for my birthday. I have been, like I said, I've been waiting years to bring my tweezers back, and they are finally here. And I think for $3.99, they're rock star. I love my red coating. I love everything about them, and the hand feel is wonderful. So if you need tweezers and you liked my Simply Defined tweezers, oh no, you need to go. You're a mosquito. No, not around here. Go. I have got so many mosquito bites all over me. It's crazy. Did I get him? No. Darn it. He knows I'm here. So tweezers are brand new, back in stock, and I'm excited to have them for my birthday. Wahoo Kachoo. The color box is on sale. I didn't even play with the verses. So we have a brand new set, and you're going to see the verses on all the samples. It says, because of you, I laugh a little harder, cry a little less, and smile a lot more. You brighten my day. Friendship isn't a big thing. It's a big thing. It's a million little things. Thank you for always knowing just the right words to say. How beautiful it is to find someone who asks for nothing but your company. I love that one too. How beautiful it is to find someone who asks for nothing but your company. I love that one. I love because of you, I laugh a little harder, cry a little less, and smile a lot more. I love thank you for always knowing the right thing to say. Well, I like this whole set. So this is a versus set. It is exclusive to Scrapbooking Made Simple. We will continue to bring you exclusive versus sets here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. And then I have the two, I have the two stencils that retail at $9.99 each for layering stencils. That's the lowest I can do for it. That's the bottom basement for 3 layering stencils. And then you've got the verses. And if you love tweezers and you need tweezers and you missed your Simply Defined tweezers, they are back. So between that and all the Color Pad product, and we'll do the blending tools because you're gonna need them, and you're gonna need the blending mat because it's just really great. These are all the items that are part of the YouTube Yummy. Oh, and the embossing powder, which is new. Now, your embossing powder may come with a label upside down, just as an FYI. Mine did. I got one that's right side up and one that's upside down. Maybe the upside down one means it's your lucky day. I don't know. But this is all the fabulous product that is on sale. Let's get to samples. Are you ready? Oh. All right. Because of you, I laugh a little harder, cry a little less, and smile a lot more. Love it. You brighten my day. How beautiful it is to find someone who asks for nothing but your company. Thank you for always knowing the right words to say. And here, this is just it's one layer with the greenery. You brighten my day. Aren't these just darling? I love them. And depending on the color ink you use, it changes everything. This, and this, and this. These were all done with the same stencil. Totally different looks. If I can get it in my hand. Totally different looks, yet all done with the same stencil. Thanks for always knowing the right words to say. Friendship isn't a big thing. It's a million little things. Look at how beautiful. And then friendship isn't a big thing. It's a million little things. A completely different look. Same sentiment. Oh, this is so pretty. This one is mine. This was a QC sample, so they matted it and made it something. And look at in the reds and the blues. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And then I've got these over here. Isn't that stunning? And look at how elegant is this. On craft paper, see, you can do it on the craft paper and still see the yellow and still see the peony. It's canary and peony because it is a pigment-based ink. If this was a dye-based ink, you would not have this kind of vibrant color coming through on top of a craft paper. Oh, no, no. Love this. How beautiful it is to find someone who asks for nothing but your company. That is so true. Look at, and here they split it into two. Oh, and this is a great guide card. Thank you for always knowing the right thing to say. Love those colors. Oh, and here we go. You brighten my day on black. I feel that mosquito. Because of you, I laugh a little harder, cry a little less, and smile a lot more. Oh, you brighten my day. It's just taking them and doing them and moving, so only doing half of it, the top, doing it and then moving it over. So doing it twice, using the stencil twice. Watercolory. I love the soft watercolory look. You brighten my day. And then here, having them hang down. Look at that. How clever. I think Michelle did this one. So good, Michelle. You are so talented, girlfriend. Ah, amazing. All right, so that's it. Big news, tweezers. I know, but for my birthday, this was like the best present ever next to my Ed Sheeran concert, which was my birthday, my anniversary, my Christmas, my Valentine's Day, probably for the next several years. But that's okay. It was worth it. I loved every minute of it, but I love having my tweezers back. It makes my heart so happy. Now that Now that manufacturing is getting a little bit easier, they're allowing smaller companies to put their orders in and saying, yeah, we'll take your order. So I know it's been a long time, and yes, my Gush pad is also coming back. I'm so excited. See, a lot of Simply Defined is staying, just the die, stamps, and stencils. But now, come March, you'll be able to order the Sizzix brand of Stacy products. So, all right, you guys, I am off to have a birthday at Disneyland with my friend Leslie. Hi, Leslie, are you there? Hi, we're gonna have such a good time. I can't wait. And I hope everybody has the most amazing weekend. Where are you going to find this product? Well, the Jacquard is really new, so I don't know if a lot of independent retailers have it yet. If not, call Jacquard and get it ordered. Absolutely. The stencils are only available here because they're my designs. But if you have beautiful stencils and you love that ink, go for it. All right, you guys, I will see you on Monday for our next Make It Monday event. And that is going to be a company that hasn't been here in a while for a Make It Monday. And oh my gosh, it's really good. I mean, well, it is $100 worth of product for $19.99, just saying. But wait till you see what it is. You're going to go, oh, because some of this product was, in my opinion, so expensive when it came out, but not anymore. All right, that's on Monday. I'll see you then. I hope you had a great day. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hanging. And thank you for just letting me be me. 55 years. I think I'm hanging around pretty good. Who knows? Maybe, well, not another 55 more, no. But there is a goal to retire, but not yet. All right, you guys, I'll see you later. Bye.